4 days, so I'm kind of stuffed out.
Oh, stuffed is what I am. It's diet time. It is diet time at the Blair house. That is for sure, because I had to go back to school, and then when you get up in the morning and you got to try pants on to see if they fit before you can decide what you're going to wear, that gets bad. And that's where I'm at, unfortunately, because I wore stretch pants all during the holidays. I had my shorts on inside the house and stretch pants, and I was good. Then work came. It's like, oh, this is bad. This is bad. So Rod Edwards and I are in the house tonight. Danny Brewer, he's not in the pool. He's at the pool at Smyrna High School. He's going to call in to us at the bottom of the hour because we're going to talk at that time about Oakland High School. They got a little game, little revenge match, Rod, coming up Saturday night.
Yes, like kind of rough one last year. Downpour, they got beat fairly handily. 24-9
last year, a loss. We'll talk about that a bunch this evening. Coach Crazy says it's not a revenge game. He's lying. You're lying, Coach. You're lying. You can say what you want to say, but I know what you're doing. Hey, speaking of knowing what you're doing, if you need some good MTSU Blue Raider gear, our sponsor, Ida's Tees, is the place in Rutherford County for your school spirit wear, screen printing, embroidery, specialty items, and more. Buy all of your official licensed MTSU Blue Raider merchandise from Raider Tees. For Blue Raider tees, polos, hats, and more, visit their showroom at 910 Ridgely Road. Just turn off Broad Street between Chewy's and Chili's. Ida's Tees can put your logo on just about anything. Stop in and see how they can help you promote your favorite team, workplace, or organization. Find out more online at idastees.com.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
If your old unit needs a tune-up, the professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air service all major brands and even offer same-day service in most cases. Keep your home or business comfortable year-round. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Ring Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass. Online at PrenticeAllsup.com.
We're talking now with Heather here at Carpets by Osborne. What are some of the advantages that Carpets by Osborne has?
Being a family business and being locally owned and operated, we do free estimates. We have our own subcontractors that work for our business. We will come out, look at your floor covering. Throughout the whole process, you deal with an individual. You're not passed off to different contractors. We handle it from start to finish.
Carpets by Osborne on Northwest Broad, next to Tire World.
At Little Caesars, get a large custom 2-topping pizza for only $7.99 when you order online. Wait, did I just say $7.99? Get out of here! This pizza is only $7.99. No way! This is $7.99? You're joshing me. You're saying this pizza perfection is only $7.99? Oh, you're crazy for this. Listen, pirate, stop taking my $7.99 pizza. Choose a large custom 2-topping pizza for the unbelievable price of $7.99 when you order online. Only $7.99. What?
Pizza. Parks Auction. We handle everything.
The auction is a means of drawing people together for a quick, easy sale.
I've always been a big fan of auctions. You know, you get instant sale, no contingencies and everything. I've known the guys over there my entire life.
Visit our website at parksauction.com to learn more.
Hi there, do I have a high now?
Call Parks Auction at 896-4600. Stan Vaught and the Parks Auction team are proud supporters of local high school and MTSU sports.
So what if your roommate decides to microwave a metal mixing bowl and sets your apartment on fire? I'm State Farm Agent Andy Wommel. Auto, renters, frankly, any kind of insurance. I've got your back. Call me at 615-890-0850.
Renters. When you combine State Farm, auto, and renters insurance, you will save money. I'm State Farm Agent Celeste Middleton, and I'd love to talk to you about combining your auto and renters insurance to help you save. Call me 615-895-2700.
At Dr. Automotive in Smyrna, we're committed to providing local car owners with top-notch auto repair services. With over 2 decades of experience, our ASC certified master technicians are experts in both foreign and domestic vehicles, ensuring accurate diagnosis and timely, cost-effective repairs. From oil changes to major engine and transmission repairs, we've got the cure for your car. Dr. Automotive, keeping your car running smoothly mile after mile. mile. Visit our website, SmyrnaAutoRepair.com.
Primetime Sports presented by Ideas Tees on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
All right, we're back on this Thursday night. We're going to run down all kinds of sports talk tonight. Football, basketball. We've got a little bit of everything for you guys tonight. So, a little bit theme of the show tonight, Ron, is since we last met, because we had Thanksgiving, lots of things going on. So let's talk Titans. Since we last met, we won a game.
We did, and it looked good.
On the road at Houston.
Yeah, and Houston was first-place team in the division.
First-place team. We're terrible. We go down to Houston, first-place team, played really well, won, looked good. Wow. The bad thing is that dropped us down as far as where we're going to pick in the NFL draft, because then we went to Washington and
we laid an egg.
We played about what we've been doing. That's the problem. So we've got 5 games left to go in this Titans season, folks. Right now we are picking at pick number 7. And so if you're looking for a quarterback, you've probably dropped a little bit farther than you want to go. If you're looking for a lineman or receiver, you're still in pretty good shape. It depends on what you want out of the Titans. This week they are at home playing Jacksonville. Jacksonville right now has the number 1 pick. Their quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, did you see the shot he took?
I did.
You know, here's the problem, Ron. They want to protect the quarterbacks, but then the quarterbacks want to get out and run.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you're fixing to get hit, you got to slide. And I feel bad for the defensive players.
Yes.
Because they're such athletes. They're coming so hard. And, you know, I don't know whether he thought he was Lawrence or not. He should. I guess that's part of knowing what you've got, who you're tackling. But, I mean, their job's to hammer the person they're trying to.
Well, I felt Lawrence went down feet first. He had already hit the ground before he got there. You know, you can just take a little change of your angle and you'll miss out on it. I mean, you've got to avoid it without hurting yourself, because you know sometimes you have to make too difficult move on the angle. You might hurt yourself. But in that case, I think he had time to back off.
Yeah, he did in that case. But again,
I mean, he also threw his shoulder plus his helmet.
Yep.
Both hit him in the head.
Yep. So he got a 3-game suspension, which I thought was pretty appropriate, and glad Trevor Lawrence isn't hurt, even though he's on the wrong team. He's on the wrong team when he went to Clemson. He should have went to Tennessee. As I started whining about Tennessee early, Trevor Lawrence was going to the University of Tennessee because he loved Peyton Manning. He loved number 16. It's just our coaching wasn't where he wanted to go. Anyway, so the Titans play at home against Jacksonville. If you beat Jacksonville again, you're hurting your draft chances. And, of course, you're keeping Jacksonville down. We play Jacksonville twice in December, next week, and then at the end of the month when we go to Jacksonville. So we got Jacksonville at home, Cincinnati at home. Cincinnati, of course, be a tough game. But maybe the players will get up for their coach since he's from Cincinnati last year. Go to Indianapolis, go to Jacksonville, we said, and then we got Houston at home, which, of course, Houston will want to get the revenge on us there. So 5 games left. We shall see again. Currently, the Titans pick number 7.
But if you're a player, you're playing to win.
You're playing to win. Callahan wants the momentum
all
going.
This about picking what pick you're going to get, that's for us fans.
That's for us fans. That's right.
The players, they're totally focused on winning. That's what they're there. Number one, every time you go out and play, you're actually a dress rehearsal for anybody in the NFL.
Absolutely.
And, I mean, you're basically are showing what you can do or what you can't do.
Right. So, yeah, there's tape on everything. So you're right there. But they just got to, continue to work, figure it out. But I was, when they beat Texans, I'm like, here we go. We're going to go on just a little bitty run that will be good for the team and bad for the pick. The other team in Nashville, speaking of bad, are the Nashville Predators, the hockey team. They've lost their 5 in a row. The last 4, all by the same score of 3-2. Can't get anything in the net. Can't seem to stop other people. Not a good formula.
It just seems like they don't have the endurance as a team to keep on task, because they jump out to the lead And then you just watch it go. And then the next thing you know, because I fast forward the scores and I back up. It takes so long. And the next thing you know, the other teams put 2 or 3 in the net. They're behind. Or they do make it, like the one killer. I think 11 seconds left. Team tied them. They had overtime. Then they lost in overtime.
Right. So that's the only points they've been getting lately. They've getting a point for those overtime games. But they're struggling as well. So Nashville, I saw a big article the other day again about Nashville and the poor quality of teams down there in the professional division, which we'll get to Vandy here in a little bit. Staying in professional, I was looking at a little bit of Major League Baseball, Rod, and of course still waiting on the big names to start, the big names to fall in the off season. But I got 2 I caught my eye today. One was the Dodgers and their pitcher Snell.
Yes, and a very tough left-hander. I mean, last year I was hoping the Cardinals would get Snell. But no, we're never going to spend the money for that.
Well, the Dodgers are spending the money.
They always will spend the money.
So I think it's 5 years, about $172 million. 172. So then I thought.
For a pitcher?
For a pitcher.
And their arm can go out next year, and that's the end of their career.
Could be the end of the career, and we know how Major League Baseball is using pitchers these days, especially starting pitchers. You're looking at 5 innings, maybe 6 a game, depending on your game. So as a math person, I started doing just a little quick math. So Snell's contract, Rod, is going to pay him approximately $1.8 million per start.
Man.
Per start.
Ka-ching, ka-ching. And all to be floating. It won't be no ka-ching to it. Well,
makes me want to go back and see if I can work on the old arm as a kid and get back in there. And who would imagine $1.8 million per start? Because I looked at, he made 20 starts this year. So if he averages 20 starts over the next 5, which would probably be a stretch, to be honest, with pitchers. And I did the math there, 100 and 172, and got that number. Other signing of somebody you may know, Rod, the Red Sox signed an old man reliever, Mr. Chapman.
And I would just put him as, marginal. Yeah, he can help us because of his experience, but I wouldn't want him as my closer only.
So he pitched 63 innings last year, 63 innings for 162 games. I mean, for a reliever, I don't know enough about whether that's a lot or not. But, I mean, that means he's pitching once every basically 3 days. Again, I did the math on his $10.75 million contract based on his innings last year. He's going to get right at $175,000 per inning.
Wow.
Not a bad gig to sit out there in the bullpen, eat some peanuts, hang out with the boys, catch a few home runs, throw some balls to the fans. Oh, I got to throw an inning. Okay, I'm going to make $175,000 real quick on this third day that I've been sitting around waiting if they even need me.
Yeah, and the thing is, you go back 10 years ago, he might have been worth that. Of course, the money wasn't that valuable then. It wasn't worth as much. But he might be worth that because he would dominate. I don't think he dominates anymore. To me, that kind of money has to be a domination.
Yeah, I'm sure he's still throwing up in the high 90s, but it just amazes me the money these teams are throwing around. I don't remember who they signed. The A's signed one of the richest contracts today, like $76 million ever in A's history. Moneyball is not happening there, I don't guess, anymore. It's Moneyball, all right. It's money the fans are paying. But yeah, I just should have looked it up. I have no idea what the Dodgers payroll is.
I couldn't imagine.
Well, I guess they're saying it's money well spent.
It is, but $700 million.
Yeah, I mean it's just unbelievable. So there's your little major league note. Still waiting on Soto to make up his mind where he wants to go. Then everybody will see where they're going to spend their money, I guess. All right, let's move over to a little college football. Let's talk about Vandy. Since we left, they've lost 2 games. They lost to LSU, and thank goodness they lost to Tennessee.
They gave Tennessee a scare.
Oh, my gosh, Rod. I was texting my friend Larry, and we was both about to quit. I went outside and walked around the house a little bit. 14-0 in the first 5 minutes. I was dying. Because I've got a lot of friends that like Vandy. And, again, I like Vandy 10 times out of 11 or 11 out of 12 weeks, whatever it is. I like Vandy. I want them to win as many games as possible. But this was playoffs or not for Tennessee, and that start, I was dying.
Well, it brings you back to memories of a few years past where games like that they could not come back.
Right.
And I think with Heupel, it's a different story. He's never had that problem of not bringing a team back against a much weaker opponent.
Yeah.
Except for Arkansas.
Except for Arkansas.
And South Carolina.
And South Carolina. That's what I started envisioning. I thought, we can't have.
But you already had one. He's not supposed to have two.
Yeah. We already had the South Carolina game a couple years ago. I thought, we cannot. Because all those friends of mine who like Vandy would be sure to let me know that they put us out of the playoffs. Vanderbilt, of course, is still bowl eligible. They will find out somewhere around Sunday their location. Different things are, of course, they're making guesses, which we don't know. I saw them playing Army, which would be a fun game for Vanderbilt. Also saw them playing another game down in Florida in Tampa. So teams will be announced Sunday. And so, again, good for Vanderbilt. So glad they're bowl eligible. That makes it better for their season, helps recruiting.
Right.
They're building their stadium. I mean, they're up and coming. And, again, hats off to Clark Lee.
Yes, he's made a big turnaround. He had to make some commitments, choices that he probably never had made before. He decided I have to make something happen to make this change, and it's worked.
It did. Again, hats off to them. Tennessee, since we left, we beat UTEP like we should have, 56-0. And then, of course, we've just got through talking about Vanderbilt. We'll get into all the college football playoff discussions, and as Monty said yesterday on his show, the Tennessee wine in a minute. MTSU, unfortunately, have lost their last two. They lost to New Mexico State and to Florida International to end their season at 3-9 in Derek Mason's first season. So big news locally, of course, it was signing day.
Yes.
For football. Rod, you've got some names locally that signed. I've got some too.
Yeah.
Of local kids.
Mm-hmm. I saw a little bit of his press conference yesterday, and he made high praise of Archie Roseman. He's the defensive lineman, 10 pounds from Blackman. He said he's very physical. And we need somebody with that big body and all, and very complimentary. We also have DJ Taylor and Bo Bryan. DJ is a 3-star, and so those three, and then there was that's our three from here. And then they also had 10 from Tennessee, several. I think they had 2 from Ravenwood. They had a couple of private schools in Nashville, and so he said he was going to look locally, and he's doing that. And to me, that's going to help bring crowds in.
Well, another local kid, besides DJ Taylor at the running back position, Rocky Chandler out of Chevrolet, is coming to MTSU. So, again, hats off to Coach Mason. Coach Mason, technically this is his second recruiting class. I kind of think of it as his first because he was hired on December 6th.
Right. And all you're doing is chasing the tail at that point, what's left over.
So, I mean, say what you will about last year's class and the kids, and I don't know enough of those young guys, but to me this is his first real class. He had time to work the area, and he was very talked a lot about, you said, the mid-state area from Middle Tennessee all the way to the Nashville area, Murfreesboro, Shelbyville, finding local kids that can grow in the program, because that's what you've got to do to MTSU.
Right.
You got to grow kids.
Right.
These kids, whether it's the Bryan kid or DJ or Chandler, they're probably not going to start next year at MTSU. Mm-hmm. They need a red shirt. Right. They need to get in the program, get in the weight room, learn what they need to do. They may look at changing some positions. DJ's a pretty tall kid for a running back.
Yeah.
And so they may look at moving him. So other kids locally from Blackman, Jalen Anderson is going to Davidson. Chris Barnett's going to TSU. Steve Nelson from Rockville is also going to TSU. From Oakland, Caleb Ellison is signed with Furman. And then a big flip for the University of Tennessee, of course, was the Morris kid out of Oakland. He was originally going to USC. Mm-hmm. He took a visit to Tennessee a couple of weeks ago. A lot of people were wondering if he would stay in-state. I think it was a good decision for him.
Yes, it is.
Well, the other thing when you talk about Morris, Dylan Sampson was just named the SEC Player of the Year today. And he deserved that. Didn't get a Doak Award, which Tennessee fans are whining about. Speaking of whining, I'm gonna whine a bunch about Tennessee tonight. But I see the Morris kid being very similar, adding some more weight.
Yeah,
as
they
Dylan Sampson.
As they put it on, I mean, that was the same thing I told someone. I saw the same thing, and see him glide, and he'll see an opening, and then it accelerates so quickly. That's what Sampson does. He's able to. You think there's no hole there, and then he's able to see it. And he's through it so quickly, and change directions. They both, are great at changing directions, reading blocks. They don't go charging in full speed ahead. I'm going to blast my way through like I'm going to have a dynamite to bust a wall down. But he's that same type of runner.
Yep. We're going to come back after this break, talk a little more recruiting and a little more Tennessee whining.
Since 1966, Fans Heating and Air has been a symbol of quality for Murfreesboro and Rutherford County. For friendly, complete service on Amana, Bryant, or American Standard Heating and Air products, Fans Heating and Air will do it all. Fans specializes in new homes, custom homes, or existing buildings. Give Fans Heating and Air a call today, 615-893-7930. Good luck to all of our schools and student athletes from Fans Heating and Air.
We're at Rick's Barbecue on Warrior Drive, where, of course, they've got barbecue and smoked chicken, ribs, but they have other favorites.
Our chicken tenders are delicious. We bread them here ourselves. We have so many different kinds of sides, and our nachos are really good and popular. I love the menu. I could literally eat here every day.
Anne-Marie Brent's at Rick's Barbecue.
We're thankful for the customers. We have a lot of regulars, loyal customers that come in, and when they come in, I already know their order.
Bet you're hungry now. We'll see you at Rick's Barbecue, 212 Warrior Drive.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We'd like to welcome you to our door and hope you find the customer service and expertise that exceeds your expectations.
Las Casas Feed Supply caters to all homeowners with a quarter acre to several acres, focusing on premium feeds and dog foods you won't find in box stores.
Nutrition is our specialty here at Las Casas Feed.
And yes, you can even get milk from the MTSU dairy at Las Casas Feed Supply, the best milk in town. Las Casas Feed on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East in Las Casas. Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
People love to see us on the schedule when they have a home game because our fans show up.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
The way we travel is just phenomenal. Our parents and our community are fully engaged in our school. When we compete, we're trying to do it in a way that honors God. We want to win. We also want to do it in a way that pleases Him.
Providing Christian values and academic excellence in a nurturing environment. That's Middle Tennessee Christian School. Invest in the future of your child. Find out more at mtcscougars.org.
Genesee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in treating local athletes here in Rutherford County. Here's Dr. Russell McKissick with TOA.
We have a passion here for taking care of our athletes here in Rutherford County. We really do our best to take care of them.
Experts in joint, bones, and muscles.
Many years we've been taking care of athletes around here, and we've just picked up where Dr. John started, and we just keep going.
TOA has a playbook that gets you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit TOA.com or call 855-NEED-TOA. TOA, live your best life.
Primetime Sports presented by Ideas Tees on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
All right, we're back. We were talking about high school kids getting signed locally. We were finishing up talking about Dwayne Morris from Oakland going to UT and comparing him to Dylan Sampson, that's already there having a great season at UT. I think a year of, again, the weight room, learning Tennessee style. But, Rod, you mentioned something made me think of it. Even at Oakland, you'll see him follow and be patient behind those blocks, just like they do at Tennessee. And then if that little crease happens, he's got the speed to bust through it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I think a perfect fit. And I think he saw that. He saw that. Plus, the other thing is, a lot of kids were jumping out of off the USC train. There was a bunch of kids that left that program that were early signees or early commitments, I should say, for them. Again, MTSU had 16 total signees. Vanderbilt only had 13. They're ranked number 70. Depending on who you look at, if you're a Rivals guy or a 24/7 or whoever you look at for your rankings, whatever. Mm-hmm. Vanderbilt only signed 13. Of course, Clark Lee said he had a full roster. And was waiting to see what kind of movement he would have there. That's why his class was so low. And then Tennessee signed 26, including their big offensive lineman they were waiting on. I think that that kid, he just wanted to wait to have his own day today instead of signing with everybody else and making everybody antsy.
Well, from what I heard, he was going to have a day with the other players from his high school team. They're all going to have a program. And maybe that's true, or maybe it's not.
Maybe he was or maybe some people's word, he was negotiating between us and Ohio State.
Yeah.
And so we'll see there. So Tennessee, the 26th, they're sitting right now, according to who you look at, 10th. They're 10th in the rankings. But what's funny about that, that's 7th in the SEC. That's the hard part. Hey, we're in the top 10, but we're only 7 in the SEC. So that's a whole different story. Biggest story also besides that, it's the silly season we talked about in college football, because not only are you signing players, you got players getting ready to jump in the portal.
Right.
And so you can kind of, if Rod, you're a wide receiver and you're unhappy and, you can go ahead and say, I'm probably going to enter the portal. You can do that now. You're not official until the 9th. So signing day was the 6th, 7th, and 8th. And then the 9th, the portal opens officially.
No rest for the coaches.
None. No rest for the coaches. Speaking of the portal, MTSU currently has 8 players that said they're going to enter the portal. Most of the guys did not play a lot this past year. Probably the biggest one that would hurt MTSU would be Amari Kelly. He led or tied in receiving this year with 53 receptions, so that would hurt MTSU. But in this free agency period, that's what you're going to get.
Yes.
The other hard part is, what you hate as an MTSU fan, we're one of those programs where if you're a really good player, other teams are going to come try to pluck you away.
Right. You'll find many of the top 5 teams have players from lower level, but they've excelled at that lower level and do very well, which may give them a chance for maybe being picked by NFL or be interested in the NFL.
Right. So, that's the system we're under, folks. I don't like it, but that's just what we're under, and coaches have to learn how to deal with it, and us as fans get aggravated. So I saw an interesting thing as I was looking up stuff about the portal. Supposedly Ohio State has a $20 million roster. Ole Miss has a $10 million roster. So, again, talking about money, we talked about baseball. Even in colleges now with the NIL deals and the university programs, or whatever you want to call them, the money's out there for those kids, the negotiation. So, Roger in the portal, again, you can start on the 9th, but you got to make your decision by the 28th, unless your coach decides they get released or quits. Then you get an additional 30 days, unless you're in a bowl game. And if you're in a bowl game, then as soon as your bowl game's over, or, if you're in the playoffs, you get 5 days after that. And so there's your window, but you got to hurry up and get in because you're not eligible, because you got to pick a school to get in the spring semester to play spring ball. Now, this is all happening this month.
Crazy month.
Plus the extras, like we just said.
They won't have a happy Christmas, will they?
Well, and what gets worse for those folks that don't know a lot about the portal, and I don't know a lot about the portal, just what things happen, there's a spring window, of course, too. And so in mid-April, there's a 10-day window again. So you could be like, well, I don't know, we'll see. And then spring ball comes around and you go, uh-oh, somebody's coming in, or I'm in the doghouse with coach. Well, I'm going. So it's basically just about any time you want to go if you really want to go.
Right.
And that's the hard part. And you feel bad for, again, the lower level programs. And then, the Tennessees, the Vanderbilts, the Alabamas, Ohio States, they're handpicking kids, and that's in every sport. We'll talk about basketball here for too long, and Tennessee's been very, very lucky in the portal. And so it's a great way to fill your roster, but then you almost, like I said, you hate it, because if you listen to football games now, it's like they tell every time where the kid's from.
And half of it or more is from another school.
Right.
The year before.
So, Rod Edwards with the catch, former, Minnesota, whatever, Golden Gopher, now playing for the Tennessee Vols. It's like they tell it every time. It almost gets old. So, whatever. All right. So, I've got 6:30 on the clock. So, gentlemen, be ready for our good friend Danny Brewer calling. Let's talk a little bit college football playoffs. And if he calls in, we'll stop and move over to Danny. College football playoffs. Right now, Oregon's won. I'm okay with that.
They haven't lost, so they're only one.
Haven't lost. They've got Penn State this Saturday, and I hope they beat Penn State by 40. And the reason that is because that could possibly help my team, the Tennessee Vols' chances. We're sitting right now, the way it's projected, of us going up to the Horseshoe in Ohio State.
Yes.
That is not where I want to go. Not because I'm afraid of Ohio State. It's just it's a perfect storm that I don't want to be in as a Vol fan. And the perfect storm is the same thing that happened to us at Georgia. We went to Georgia. Georgia hadn't had a home game in a month. They just came off of a very embarrassing loss against Ole Miss. So they were primed and ready for Tennessee.
No,
Tennessee would have had to play just about a perfect game.
Right, and that was, I think, by far Georgia's best game. They look like Georgia of old.
And so whether it's Tennessee or whoever, if you have to go to Ohio State, you're walking into a home stadium where Ohio State just got embarrassed by their biggest rival again at home. So you got to find somebody to take it out on. And Ryan Day's got to make sure you do, because you think this is crazy, but I think if he loses first round, his job could be on the line.
Could be, because that's not what they expect from Ohio State.
Well, it's not what they expect for $20 million.
And especially with them not even getting the top two positions.
Yeah.
Playing for the, the conference championship.
Right. So not playing for a conference championship is not hurting Tennessee as far as, where we're at. You're getting a little extra rest, a little extra time. So, of course, you've got Texas and Georgia playing. I don't know, Rob. What do you think about that when Georgia beat Texas first game?
And they're going to be at Texas. Is that right?
It's in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, it is. Oh, that's right.
It's the SEC championship game.
Right, that's right. Yeah.
So Texas wants it.
Texas, if they're as strong as Georgia is physically, I think that this will be an advantage to them. But if Georgia is a more superior in the interior, then they're still okay.
Well, my question there is, unlike Ohio State, who's going to be very motivated if they're at home, I'm not sure Georgia's that motivated for this game. I mean, I'm not sure they're going to change places too much. I don't think that, I don't think they don't feel the pressure. They don't care.
Mm-hmm.
They know they're in the playoffs, even if they lose. I think they know they can probably go anywhere and play anybody and feel pretty confident in that. So for us Tennessee fans, I'm kind of putting my chips over to Oregon, hammering Penn State to help us out a little bit and see if that'll shake up where we're at. The other big one, everybody was surprised. I was not, that the Alabama Crimson Tide are in the field.
Yeah. All they got to do is have Clemson get beat. Isn't that it?
Well, no, Alabama's in right now.
Oh, they are.
And so Clemson plays SMU, which, Clemson's been up and down all year, and SMU's been a tough matchup. And so that'll be an interesting game. See if Clemson can get, a chance to be back in there. So all we can go on is where the committee has put us right now. So right now, Alabama's there.
Mm-hmm.
When they lost that third game, non-Alabama people were celebrating. The ladies I got at school that wear their Alabama stuff all the time, they were sad, and now they're glad because they're back in. They're back in, and so it's going to be interesting. Again, big games this weekend coming up. See a little bit of a change. I don't think you'll see a lot. I don't think the committee wants to make it where you're punished, and everybody keeps saying that. They don't want to punish you for making the playoffs. So I think the same teams will be in that same mix. You might could see a little bit of swapping around. And, of course, selfishly, I would love a home game in Knoxville. Against the Penn State or even Ohio State, which I think would be a tough matchup for Tennessee. But just that home game at Neyland, it's the playoffs. Everybody wants to see it. I'm not whining, Monty. Monty was fussing about Tennessee fans. I'm not whining. I'm just saying it would be nice. It would be nice to be at home.
Well, I liked Coach Heupel's, what he had to say. He said, let's just get the ball and put it down and let's play, wherever it's at. I mean, that's the attitude you have to take with your players. I don't care where it's at. we're there to beat them.
Anybody, any place, anytime, as he said. And you're right, Ryan. That's what you've got to do. You never know how the cards will fall. So first rounds at home sites. If Tennessee stays in the same bracket and could luck up and beat an Ohio State on the road, they get Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
So if Tennessee wins the national championship, they surely are going to earn it by the route they're on right now in the bracket. So, I know everybody doesn't want to see it. I'd love to see Alabama, Texas, Georgia, Tennessee, avoid each other as long as possible and get there at the end. Because
it's boring because they already played each other.
Exactly.
You like to see.
It's kind of like the high school matchups. After the week 2, you start knocking each other off that you've played each other this year.
Right.
And so I hope we avoid each other and then make it down to that Final Four. For all these people, I think the SEC is down, which I don't agree with that. But huge things coming up there for college football playoffs. And it's more exciting that there's 12. But now, used to when it was 4, 5 and 6 complained.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we got 12, it's 13 and 14 and 15.
Well, there's always going to be complaints.
That complain. So always going to be complaining about something. But that's just the way it goes. We had 20, 21, and 22. NCAA basketball, you get 68 teams. Well, 69 and 70 are complaining. And so that's just the way it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we've got Danny Brewer. He's trying to call in. The boys are trying to get him on. Danny Brewer, when you get up, can you hear me, brother?
I can, yes, sir.
All right. How's the swim meet going?
It's going good. Competitive. Smyrna's, I think Smyrna has won every event so far, but still, we've had some good competitive races.
The other swim question is, surely to goodness your streak is broken.
No, it is not. But in the morning, I got a feeling it will be tomorrow morning.
Are you kidding me?
No. I'm a believer in cold water therapy. I've talked with some guys over at Cold Tub, and they've kind of indoctrinated me. So I've been engaging in some cold water therapy. But I think tomorrow morning, when it's in the teens, I probably won't engage in cold water therapy tomorrow morning.
Well, there's other kinds of cold water therapy, my brother, that you can take in. It won't be near as cold. So you might want to change up your therapy models. Hey,
maybe so.
So y'all weren't supposed to be at Smyrna tonight, right?
No, we're supposed to be at Laverne, but Laverne had a pool problem, so it got changed to Smyrna because of the scheduling of it all. They didn't want to try to make it up at any point in the future with the holidays coming up and all that stuff. They wanted to try to go ahead and get it in this week, so it got moved to Smyrna, and we're hosting it.
Okay. Hey, I've got to go to a break. Are you good to come back after the break?
Absolutely.
All right, hang on, Danny Brewer. We'll be right back.
Are you tired of feeling like just another number with your insurance provider? For an insurance agency in Smyrna, Agent Rick Hall prides himself on offering personalized service that puts you first. Every client's needs are unique. From personal home and auto coverage to tailored business insurance, Rick Hall's got you covered. Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance Agency in Smyrna, where you're more than just a policy number. You're a neighbor.
This is a paid legal ad.
When a family member is lost as a result of someone else's negligence, the grief can be unbearable. It also leaves you with a lot of questions like, how did this happen? Who's responsible? And is my family going to be okay? That's a lot to go through, but with the law offices of John Day on your side, you don't have to go through any of it alone. We understand what you're going through, and we have the experience to get the answers, justice, and compensation your family deserves. Call the law offices of John Day.
Sir Pizza.
Murfreesboro's favorite pizza is now hiring at all 3 local locations. That's right. We want you to join the Sir Pizza team. Stop in at our East Main, Veterans Parkway, or Memorial Boulevard locations and let us know how you'd like to join the Sir Pizza family. Also, we've made it even easier to order for carryout or delivery. Just head on over to sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
You've heard people say, you know your work by your name, but there's no better name for residential and business concrete work than Dan France Concrete. From basic slabs to decorative stamping, for your next concrete project, call Dan France Concrete, 615-642-5152.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Trust me, Dan is committed to the community and will offer you a great product. He'll stand behind his work and make sure you're satisfied with every aspect of the work. Dan France Concrete.
Head over to J. Mullins Jewelry to check out their selection of rings, watches, custom designed jewelry, and much more. They're a local business located at 352 West Northville Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro. They have gifts for all occasions, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, whatever you need, you can find it at J. Mullins Jewelry. That's at 352 West Northville Boulevard or online at mullinsjewelry.com.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
Primetime Sports presented by Ideas Tees on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
All right, we're back. Clark Blair, Rod Edwards in the house, Danny Brewer on the line. Danny, there's a big game Saturday night, and you said you talked to Coach Creasy.
I have. You know, it's a rematch. Last year was probably the first time in a long time that I remember Oakland being out physical. You know, Houston was way more physical than Oakland, and you don't see that happen very often, you know. Of course, the thing, you talk with Coach Creasy, you know, how does he turn it around? Because Houston has a lot of those players back, you know, including the quarterback. So how do you turn it around? The biggest thing he points to is turnovers. They had 3 turnovers last year. He said, man, we didn't have 3 turnovers in all of the playoff games combined coming into that game. So the turnovers, I think, were really a big factor for Oakland. It gave Houston a lot of momentum. So the first thing he wants to do is make sure they don't turn the football over.
Well, you mentioned the quarterbacks is back. The running back is not. Rod mentioned the running backs graduated, but they've got a couple of good running backs, right, Rod?
That's correct. Got a Davis that has about 1,800 yards rushing.
And then also James. So they've got a two-headed monster there. Also, that last year's game, if you remember, was a downpour, which didn't help. And it seemed like every time Houston needed a first down, that quarterback made the plays.
Yes.
All right, so, Danny, Saturday night, you think Houston is going to try to see if Creasy can throw the ball?
Of course they are. I mean, that's what they made Oakland one-dimensional. The Houston defense and the Mother Nature made Oakland one-dimensional last year. So what's going to happen this year, of course, if you're Oakland, I don't think there's a chance of rain. Maybe a little chilly, but there's no chance of rain. So I think what Oakland needs to do is have their big players make big plays, and then you stand up on defense. You're talking to Coach Creasy. I said, Coach, is the defense the key? He said, absolutely. He said, if we can stop them and slow them down, I think we'll be all right. So that's what they want to do is make sure their defense steps up. I know they shut Maryville out in the second half last week. So the key is going to be, I think, on the defensive side because, you know, Oakland's big play players, they've got 3 of them that are very dynamic. And, you know, and Creasy, the little Creasy at quarterback has done a good job of not making a lot of mistakes. So as long as he doesn't make mistakes and Oakland defense can step up, I think they got a pretty good shot at redemption here.
And, Rod, you mentioned last week the Maryville game, how Maryville tried to play Oakland defensively.
Yes, they second half especially, they started rushing with about 7 in the box, 7 to 8 people in the box. And the talent that they had with running back, though, was with Morris made a great cut off of those extra bodies in the box that made good plays. But that's something that Houston may try.
All right, so Houston looking at they beat Dixon County and then Bartlett. Look, close game for them at Bartlett, 17-10. Then a big win over formerly undefeated, one-loss team Collierville. And, of course, they beat undefeated Ravenwood last week, 24-21 to get to the finals. Oakland's road, looking back at the Patriots, they started out against Lebanon with a 41-0 shutout. 35-28, a little scare there against Oakland. Then a great game that we all were at that week, Oakland 49, Riverdale 46. That was that was just a fantastic ball game.
Yes, it was. I would say the best game people have seen Oakland and Riverdale play each other, and it's one of the best high school games I've seen.
And then, of course, last week, 21-13 over Maryville. Maryville, of course, holding them to 21 points, one of their lowest outputs in the playoffs and this year. So, big game Saturday night, 7 o'clock. You can watch it. You can listen to it on WGNS. The crew will be down there. Countdown to kickoff will start a little bit before 7 o'clock. And then kickoff's at 7 down at Finley Stadium. Weather, you mentioned, Danny, 33 degrees at kickoff. A little chilly, but no rain.
And that's a good thing, And now, remember, it's 7 o'clock Eastern, so it'll be 6 o'clock here.
Thank you, sir. 7 o'clock. It's 6 o'clock. Thank you, sir, for that time clock fix for me, brother. All right. Well, hey, we're going to let you get back to the pool. Hey, thanks for joining us. You're going to be here next week, right?
God willing, I will be.
All right, because next week's the last one.
Next week is the finale, the grand finale. Well, let me see. I'll check the swim schedule and see. But hopefully I'll be there. If not in person, I'll be there in spirit and hopefully on the phone, if nothing else.
All right. Well, thank you, Danny. Appreciate you. We got to crown the pigskin pick champion next week.
Ooh.
And so
there won't be much movement.
I got a feeling it ain't going to be me. So
well, none. I'll say this without breaking the. Well, everybody knows who's going to win. Same person always wins, but won't be none of us three. But we'll make it official. We'll make it official next week. Thanks, Danny.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, so Rod, we were looking at it. It's going to be a great ball game Saturday night. Oakland number 1, Houston number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Again, 13-1 versus 12-2. Oakland seven-time champion. 7 of 10. Creasy has made it to this final game. That's just amazing.
Yes, it is, and been successful there.
And so championships in 84, that's back in my time, 98, 08, 18, 20, 21, and 22. And then so he's looking to get back to it. All of us thinking, speaking of picks, all of us think Oakland will get it done this Saturday night. That loss recently, 2016 to Whitehaven, and then last year again to Houston. I think, again, the key is going to be, he called him a little crazy. I think the key is going to be a little crazy.
Yes, I mean he number one. His percentage of receptions, like one game he had recently was 12 out of 13. He makes he's not the dynamic where he's the main key and you work off of him, but he works off of the running game, and they burned a lot of teams. Like Bandy has caught several passes he did it to Ravenwood, which tied the game, went into overtime. He did it to Riverdale. He's the one who caught the one in the end zone.
And I was getting ready to say before you said it, I think he's the reason they beat Riverdale.
Yeah, and then Morris getting back from injury, he will catch the pass in the middle, and Bandy gets it on the outside and deep.
So Oakland again. We've talked about Creasy, Morris. We've mentioned Tutt. Of course, a little shout out to Mr. Tutt. He is a 6A finalist for Mr. Football. That award will be given out December 10th. So he's one of the final 3. So. Good luck to Craig. Of course, Craig is just a junior. We talked about kids signing and being recruited. Craig Tutt has gotten offers from all over the country. He can name just about any school, and he's probably got an offer. The question mark is, as me and Rob were talking during the break, is he going to play on the offensive side or defensive side of the ball? Now, defensive side of the ball, he can hit. He's not very big, but he brings it.
He does. He's quick. He can go up with anybody to knock the ball away. He's ideal for it, but he's the same way with running. In the game, he had 132 yards, 3 receptions against Maryville. He had, I think, 70-some yards rushing.
He had 202 total yards,
He had 5 tackles, and he had, I think he had knocked down a pass that looked like it was going to be completed.
Well, I mean, he's the kind of kid, if I'm going against him, you're looking – if I'm playing offense, which side's Tutt on? Because I'm going the other way. And then defense, where's he at lined up? Is he at the running back slot? Is he playing wide receiver? Because you better know where he is.
Yeah, he caught a short pass late in the game when Oakland was behind, and he took it almost took it to the house. He was run down about the 15-yard line. Oakland went on and put it in, and really made the difference in the game. So you got, like you said, you got to know where he's at.
Got to know. So, Craig, I think you'd look good in orange and go up there and see your buddy Dwayne Morse next year up there in Knoxville. Just saying, not that that's illegal recruiting or anything, and I have no money for you, but you sure would look good. Jumping to a couple other little items here this last couple minutes. Let's go to basketball for a minute. MTSU men and women both sitting at 7-2. Great for the men. That's been their best start in years. And the women playing very well. Tennessee basketball, men are sitting at 8-0. Won the other night. And will probably be the number one team in the nation coming up this week when the polls come out again, because numbers 1 and 2 both lost. So a little bit early. I know Rick Barnes will be like, I don't
want to get there soon.
I don't want to get there this soon because you'll get full of yourself. He had a quote the other day. He's talking about a peacock. He said, you know what a big, beautiful peacock becomes? It's tomorrow's feather duster. And so he rides people all the time. He rides them players. They love him, but he rides them pretty hard. But he'll remind them they may go number 1, but it's a long season.
Well, he's inducing them to reality.
Yep. That number 1's last time Tennessee rose to number 1. I think it lasted just a couple of days. I don't remember if it was Vanderbilt. Maybe in Vanderbilt that beat us and knocked us out of that one spot one time. So that was hard.
I think a year ago it happened to Tennessee. Or was it 2 years ago where they went number 1 the next game?
Next game they were out. So it's tough in college basketball. Nobody's going to run the table these days. There's not going to be those happening.
There's too many games.
You're on the road.
Too many good competition.
Yeah. So, I mean, anybody can beat anybody in basketball if you get hot a certain night. The Lady Vols are also 6-0, so both basketball teams are undefeated. Vanderbilt, men are sitting at 8-1, women at 9-1. So, good basketball going around all over the state of Tennessee. So, if you want to get out and check out the Blue Raiders, there's lots. Check out their schedule. The schedule is online. You can check it out on WGNS when the games are being called if you want to listen, or if you want to go check them out. High school basketball is also running. They've already called a couple of games here. I think coming up next week, well, tomorrow night. There is no rest for John Dinkins. John Dinkins, did you listen this morning? Did you happen to listen this morning?
No, I didn't.
This has nothing to do with sports. This is just thinking about John Dinkins on the run on time. They got to talking about their CPAPs. He's talking about being tired. Well, John, you're going to be tired because you got to be at Blackman versus Brentwood tomorrow night for basketball. And then the coaches show on Saturday morning. And then y'all have to head out and go to Chattanooga, of course, for the game Houston versus Oakland on Saturday night. So no rest, John Dinkins. You might as well try to get you a nap in, buddy. I don't know if you can sleep while Brian's driving or not, but you got to get it where you can get it, buddy.
Well, don't worry. He'll be whining about it.
He'll be whining about it. Being sleepy and tired, or Brian's driving. Which one? Or
all
both?
of it. Oh.
And then where are we going to eat at? Is he going to be whining about that too?
Yeah, at least they're going to. The radio's going to pay for it. That's going to be nice.
Okay. Well, Brian Barrett is, that's what you would think should happen. Brian Barrett's going to drive you down there, at least take you to a good meal, hopefully before the game. But you said the setup in Chattanooga is wonderful.
Yes.
You said the press box that you're in is great, so you won't get cold, hopefully, or last year didn't get wet, so that's good.
We wasn't sure if it was raining or not at first. Everybody soaked because you couldn't hardly see it.
Right, because you couldn't see the field. I remember watching it on TV, and it's like you can't even see the field. Yeah. We mentioned pigskin picks as we wind down. We already talked about we all went with Oakland. And then, of course, the only other game we can pick, because we quit picking it after the high school season's over, the other game is the Titans versus Jags, which we talked about. We all went with the Titans, except for Brian Barrett. He went with the Jags.
Well, maybe we'll all catch him.
I was a little surprised. I don't think
we're going to game.
I don't think one game's going to make.
We need to make a rule, though. If everybody gains one on you, you have to go another day.
A combined. That sounds like a few years ago when John filed a formal complaint about how we kept adding games trying to catch people. So that's just the way it goes. The way it goes. Again, all kinds of sports coming up this weekend on WGNS. We've mentioned already the Coaches Show, Middle Tennessee basketball versus Belmont. The men and the women both play on Saturday versus Belmont. The women start at 11:30, men at 2 o'clock. Next Tuesday night, more high school basketball, Riverdale versus Smyrna. And we mentioned earlier, talking to Danny, that next Thursday night is the last Primetime Sports show of the year. How fast did that go? Remember, we were talking about August. Right. But I said I love the show on Thursday night because it gets me just about to Christmas.
Right.
And here we are.
It seemed like we went from summer, and then all of a sudden it's winter.
Yeah, there was no fall. There was definitely no fall. Very, very little sweater weather for football. It's just cold. So lots of stuff again going on. You want to keep the streak going with Oakland. We talked last week about how 30 out of 31 years, we've made it this far in the playoffs, getting to the semifinals, and now, of course, with Oakland being in the finals, I mean, what is this, 5th or 6th year y'all have had to make the run for the finals with Coach Creasy? So that's always good stuff. Good stuff. We're going to come back, close out this show.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive offers complete tax preparation, financial, and bookkeeping services.
This is Brett Craig with Craig's Tax Service. From personal tax preparation to business bookkeeping, payroll, and taxes, at Craig's Tax Service, our staff is here to help.
Get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
As a former Siegel Star football player, I know the importance of the high school sports experience. Good luck to all county student athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
Whether you're a student, alumni, or just a fan, Raider Tees has exactly what you need to help you cheer on the Blue Raiders on game days and every moment in between. We sell officially licensed Blue Raider gear, whether it's clothing, hats, flags, chairs, or just whatever. We have it all, including exclusive gear you won't find anywhere else. Like us on Facebook for updates on new Blue Raider gear and special prices or discounts. For all your Blue Raider gear, shop Raider Tees today. Bigger, better, and go blue!
At Middle Tennessee Electric, we see the lines that link us all, illuminating our neighborhoods, empowering our businesses, and helping us to recharge. Because we believe in the power of good energy. Whether it comes from our grids, the sun, or a kind heart. And as your family and our region continue to grow, you can trust that we'll always be there for you. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
Is your saving for retirement strategy involving the phrase, "I'll get around to it someday"? If so, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin, and when it comes to meeting your goals, time can be on your side, and there's no better time than now to get started towards your retirement goals. Give us a call, Lee Colvin, at 615-907-7056. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
Quick, convenient, efficient. 3 words that we all hope to experience when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
Primetime Sports presented by Ideas Tees on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
All right, we're here to close out this show on this Thursday night. Rod Edwards and I. Speaking of closing out, we've been talking about high school football season closing out. We've had 14 great weeks of high school football. Y'all will head down to Chattanooga about what time on Saturday?
I imagine around 12, 1, because it starts 6 o'clock our time.
Yep. So traffic is terrible going to Chattanooga. You get about 20 miles out of Chattanooga, it just starts. I don't care when you go. It gets terrible right as you get into Chattanooga, which I despise.
Mm-hmm.
I despise cold weather. I despise traffic. 2 things that I just cannot stand in right now.
Driving through Chattanooga.
Yeah, driving through Chattanooga traffic. It's as bad as driving through Murfreesboro. Trying to get from McFadden down Church Street to Christiana. It is miserable depending on the time of the day.
Yeah. It took me an hour. I got here by the radio station, and it took me about 45 minutes to get to Riverdale game last time.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. You just
never. Second to last time because I didn't go that way the next time.
Yep. So, again, Brian Barrett, Rod Edwards, John Dinkins will be at Finley Field for the championship game. Again, good luck to Coach Creasy and all the Oakland Patriots, all the Oakland Patriot fans. I know there's going to be a big crew running down there for that revenge game, Coach Creasy. Revenge. I know good and well you're going to be putting in their ear what they did to you last year.
We need to ask what kind of game is this on this team?
I'm sure it's going to be an in-house. All right, this in-house has got to go out because time is up. We'll see you back.